Hello, this is Majjhima number 25, the Nivapa Sutta, or the bait. And it's told by Buddha in Jetta's Grove, and it starts with a simile, and then Buddha goes on to explain the simile. So the simile concerns a deer trapper who does not lay bait intending that it is enjoyed by the deer. He lays it so the deer will eat it, become intoxicated and fall into negligence, so the deer trapper can do what he likes with them. And indeed this is what happens with the first herd of deer. But the second herd of deer shun the baited food and go off into the forest. But at the end of the hot season, the food source is dried up and the deer are hungry and emaciated. They return and eat the trapper's food, become intoxicated, and the trapper can then do with the deer as he likes. The third herd of deer reviewed what had happened to the first and second herd, and the third herd decides to stay close by the baited food and eat with care. And the deer trapper becomes aware of their cunning, how the deer are eating only some of the bait, and without the trapper knowing how the deer come and go, the trapper then decides to put a fence around the bait, and being able to see where the deer come and go, they also ended up under the trapper's control. Now there's a fourth herd of deer which reviews what happened to the first herd, the second herd and the third herd of deer. So the fourth herd of deer decided to make their dwelling close to the bait, but keep their dwelling hidden from the deer trapper, so they won't become intoxicated and negligent. This again was observed by the trapper. The eating the bait, their coming and going, not known by the trapper. The trapper and his followers, that is. The trapper erected a fence around the bait, but the trapper still did not find the deer's hiding place or dwelling place. The trapper then reasoned, if we scare the fourth deer herd, being scared, they will alert others, so all the deer herd will desert the bait. Suppose we treat the fourth deer herd with indifference. And this is what the trapper and his followers did. And that is how the fourth deer herd got free from the deer trapper's power and control. But Buddha then explains this simile by saying, the bait is in fact the five chords of sensual pleasure: hearing, touching, seeing, smelling, sound. The deer trapper is Mara, the evil one of the mythology, and the deer trapper's followers are the Mara's followers, and the deer herd are recluses and Brahmins. So Buddha goes on to say the recluses and Brahmins of the first kind ate unwearily, going right in amongst the bait and material things of this world, and so they became intoxicated, and through intoxication fell into negligence. And when they were negligent, Mara did with them as he liked. So these recluses and Brahmins failed to get free from Mara's power and control. In the second case, the bait food and material things of this world are shunned, and they live on things they can find in the wild. But in the dry season, when grass and water are used up, their bodies are reduced to extreme emaciation. They lose their strength and energy, they lose their deliverance of mind. And with this loss of deliverance of mind, they return to the bait Mara had laid down. They ate unwearily, became intoxicated and fell into negligence. And when they were negligent, Mara did with them as he liked. So these recluses and Brahmins are just like the second herd. Buddha continues, the reclusive and Brahmins of the third kind reviewed what had happened to the recluses and Brahmins of the first and second kind. And the recluses and Brahmins of the third kind decided to eat not unwearily and without going right in amongst the bait laid down by the Mara and the material things of the world. By doing so, we shall not become intoxicated, they reasoned, and not being intoxicated, we shall not fall into negligence. And so Mara cannot do with us as he likes on account of the bait and material things of the world. But then the recluses and Brahmins came to hold views that the world is eternal, the world is not eternal, the world is finite, the world is not finite, is infinite. The soul and body are the same. The soul is one thing, the body is another. And after death, a Tathagata exists. After death, he does not exist. After death, a Tathagata neither exists nor does not exist. So these are the 10 speculative views debated by philosophers of Buddha's era, is the comment by Bhikkhus Bodhi. So this is how those recluses and Brahmins of the third kind failed to get free from Mara's power and control, like the deer of the third kind. Now the recluses and Brahmins of the fourth kind recounted what had happened to the first, second, and third kind. Namely, the first acting without precaution, the second living in the wild, and the third living among Mara's bait. All failed to get free from Mara's power and control. Then Buddha suggests, suppose we live where Mara and his followers cannot go. There we can eat not unwearily and without going amongst the bait and material things of the world. So we shall not become intoxicated, and not being intoxicated we shall not fall into negligence, and when not negligent, Mara shall not do with us as he likes on account of the bait and material things of the world. And this is how the recluses and Brahmins of the fourth kind got free from Mara's power and control. These recluses and Brahmins are just like the deer of the fourth herd. Buddha continues, and where is it that Mara and his followers can't go? Here, quite secluded from sensual pleasures and unwholesome states, a follower enters upon and abides in the first jhana, which is accompanied by applied and sustained thought with rapture and pleasures born of seclusion. This follower is said to have blindfolded Mara, to have become invisible to him by depriving Mara's eye of its opportunity. Then, with the stilling of applied and sustained thought, the follower, or bhikkhu, enters upon and abides in the second jhana, which has self-confidence and singleness of mind, without applied and sustained thought, with rapture and pleasure born of concentration. Again, Mara is eluded. And so, next, with the fading away of rapture, a bhikkhu abides in equanimity and mindful and fully aware, still feeling pleasure with the body, he enters upon and abides in the third jhana. He has pleasant abiding with equanimity and is mindful. Mara is eluded again. Then, with the abandoning of pleasure and pain, and with the previous disappearance of joy and grief, a bhikkhu enters upon and abides in the fourth jhana, which has neither pain nor pleasure, and purity of mindfulness due to equanimity. Again, Mara is eluded. On the next step, with the complete surmounting of perceptions of form, with the disappearance of perceptions of sensory impact, with non-attention to perceptions of diversity, aware that space is infinite, a bhikkhu enters upon and abides in the base of infinite space, where again Mara is eluded. By completely surmounting the base of infinite space, aware that consciousness is infinite, a bhikkhu enters upon and abides in the base of infinite consciousness, where again Mara is eluded. And by completely surmounting the base of infinite consciousness, aware that there is nothing, a bhikkhu enters upon and abides in the base of nothingness, where again Mara is eluded. By completely surmounting the base of nothingness, a bhikkhu enters upon and abides in the base of neither perception nor non-perception, where again Mara is eluded. And by completely surmounting the base of neither perception nor non-perception, a bhikkhu enters upon and abides in the cessation of perception and feeling, and his taints, or bad influences, are destroyed by his seeing with wisdom. The bhikkhu is said to have blindfolded Mara at this stage, become invisible to the evil one by depriving Mara's eye of its opportunity, and to have crossed beyond attachment to the world. And that concludes Majjhima number 25, Nivapa Sutta, the bait. Thanks for watching.